Now enter the lab. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, episode 93, right? Yes, 93. As we wrap up, going into Monday Night Football, Jets, Bills. As we record this live, we're trying to do episodes moving forward on Mondays still, but at 7:15, just to kind of give you a opportunity to watch Monday Night Football. Sundays isn't good for us anymore as a time unless Fort's schedule changes. So Monday is the day, and then Monday during football season will change to 7:15 as we're going live now on YouTube and Twitter. Episode unofficially presented by Billionaires Row, officially presented by Broward Vintage. Go ahead, buy your vintage clothing on eBay. All links are in bio and Linktree. Big football weekend. We'll get into that. UFC 293 was this past weekend. Big main event card there. Bunch of little things in our personal lives going on that we want to share. And as we unwind the end of summer officially next week. But before we get into all those topics, Fort Sama, what's going on? Recording early. The daylight is still out by me. So it's kind of weird with the green screen and the views. But what's going on? How was your week? What's going on? As he unmutes.
All right. Well, that wasn't working for me for whatever reason. No, my week was great. Yesterday was great. Stayed busy. I'm looking to definitely change my schedule up within the next few weeks so I can have Sundays off. Because it just doesn't make sense for me to work on Sundays, bro. I was just on my phone watching Red Zone the whole day until the Dolphins game started, and then I switched to that.
Yeah.
But no, it's still daylight over here around me. And I got home, bro. I was trying to take a nap, but I just couldn't. Like I told you before we started, my head's been hurting since like fucking 2 p.m. I've been trying to hydrate. I thought that was the cause, but it's getting a little bit better now. I think I just need to go to the gym once we sign off, and hopefully I think that'll help.
Yeah, that might be a little therapy session. Like I said, I like the early. I like changing it up, especially with Monday Night Football. It's an opportunity where nothing goes on Mondays during the other months and weeks that we record usually. So it's a perfect timing Monday night. But it'll be fun to kind of do it early, have it uploaded, edited, so people who don't watch Monday Night Football could watch us edited timelines and stuff like that, and then get into the football games. But today's September, recording this on September 11th, 9/11. Obviously, it's been 22 years since. My birthday is always exactly 1 week after September 11th, so that stands out to me as a kid for many reasons. Being from Staten Island, New York, being able to watch not literally watch the planes go in, but at 9:30 that same morning when I was 12 years old, to be able to see the smoke coming out of the building live across the river, across the river. Was pretty freaky. I'll never forget that image in my head. And then kids being pulled out little by little throughout the day. And my mom and my dad worked at the hospital, so they couldn't get home. So having to walk home from school instead of taking the city buses, because the city buses were shut down. Everything, the whole city was shut down. There will never be another day, hopefully, like that, where just everything that the city did for that 24-hour span, especially, didn't exist. So had to walk home, didn't understand what was happening. So shout out that in a good way, as far as, it brought us all together as Americans. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. So we won't touch on those subjects because we're conspiracy theorist quarters usually, right?
Yeah, it's a touchy subject when it comes to conspiracy theories with 9/11. I have a lot of them, but I'm gonna keep them to myself. If you do want to talk about them, you can DM me and we'll get into it. But I just, like you said, it was a day that America just stopped, and everything was just like you said. Nothing went on that day. Everyone remembers what they were doing, where they were at, what was going on when they got that news about 9/11 and the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and everything. And you hear all the stories, you see all the all the videos that now have been edited and just made to look up to date and whatnot. And it seems like every year around this time, something else new pops up about 9/11. And I mean, you can't take away from the people that tried to stop the attacks. There's a lot of a lot of documentaries that you could watch about it and get informed about it. But I mean, just everything goes out to everyone that was affected that day and then on, because after that we went to war.
Shit. Yeah. And
So,
then that war just ended last year.
yeah, exactly. So that was over 2 decades of what happened, because
Mm.
I mean, just a lot of stuff behind the scenes that happened
Yeah.
with
And we
that.
went in
But
from one war to another. That we should have no business in, but you know,
that's how it always
conversation.
seems,
Yeah.
that we're
Right?
just always in wars that we don't need to be
We're
in.
trading, yeah. We're trading wars. One thing I did want to talk about briefly last week that I forgot to talk about was I was pretty feeling nice on Saturday from a nice day of golf cart life and watching college football. I came back. Matt Spo was over, and I was watching wrestling a little bit. And I told you, I sent the photo of you and a few people. I dislocated my toe, which has never happened. My pinky toe completely went out of place. I think it caught the carpet. And good thing I was a little drunk, so I didn't feel any pain, or I think I was shocked. Immediately dislocated the toe, put it back into place within probably 5 seconds, and iced it. And then 2 days later, it was healing well. And what happens, like anything, like you have a paper cut, you have any type of injury, you double down on that. And I stubbed my toe hard. Only that toe, not even the other toes. It hit the recliner that I hit, and immediately iced it again. I went to move it and it popped out again. And that's never happened to me. The only thing I've ever broke or like kind of like injured was ever my left wrist. But that was freaky to happen, like just to see your toe going an opposite way. And obviously I hit up my mom, who's been a nurse for 35 years since retired plus. Nothing you can do. Just tape it to your other toe, rest, make sure you don't stub it or do anything. So I've been dealing with that. It's been better. Nothing's happened. I can move it. So hopefully it heals well, because the last thing you want as you get older is like things breaking down on your body. And all of a sudden when it gets colder or starts to rain, you hear this as with older people, and like things don't heal the same. So all of a sudden you got a dislocated toe that all of a sudden now you can't run the same because you feel that pain every once in a while. So hopefully I'm not being dramatic, but hopefully it does heal properly. And another thing from last week that we talked about, I started my diet, Fort Sama. I want to make sure that you know this podcast. I've been telling people here and there. Started it last Tuesday. No, 2 Tuesdays. So we've recorded when I got back. So it's been 10, 11 days since I did that. Oh, maybe more than that. Almost 2 weeks will be Wednesday. Officially weighed in today, 199.8. And I have not seen
Under 200, my guy.
Yes. And I told you the goal for my birthday was 199. So I'm a week early, actually, literally 1 week early of that goal, which feels good because I wanted to be 199 by the time my birthday rolled around. So I'm 10 pounds lost, cutting out all the BS, pasta, cheese, chips. I had a couple cheat days this weekend. It was a party-filled weekend. Shout out Drew. It was his birthday. Happy 38th birthday, 38th, I think, if not 39. Who knows? It was a big weekend. So had a couple cheat days, or cheat meals, not even cheat days. But yeah, down 10 pounds. So thank you, Fort Sama, for inspiring me. Thank you, everybody else that does well in their life that makes me feel like a piece of shit, because Bill Burr has a fat shaming technique that sometimes you need to fat shame yourself a little bit in order to lose weight.
Yeah, I think fat shaming needs to be acceptable. I think as a society,
two close friends.
Yes.
Right? Like you have to know the
sure.
person, you have to know their birthday, you have to know their middle name, maybe. Like you can't just be throwing that shit out on Twitter. No. I don't approve.
Well, yeah, I mean, Twitter, whatever. I don't give a fuck. No, but I feel like we need to heal as a society from certain things and certain words and phrases that should be acceptable again, words shouldn't hurt people. Like I even if, bro, this is the funniest thing. Is that a Zyn? You got Zyn pouch in your hand, bro?
Nah, you see,
Why
no.
are you lying, bro?
So, hey, sometimes when you're
Hey,
dieting, you need to
no,
replace
fair, fair,
addictions with
fair
other
enough.
addictions. So
Fair enough. No,
I'm down with it.
I got a funny story. You want to hear the story about my Zen pouch experience, or you want to hear the story of me saying gun in the gas station?
I want to hear both.
Which one do you want to hear first?
First, I'll take the Zin because it's on topic. But God,
Dude, so people come in and buy those things every 5 minutes. Someone's buying a Zen pouch, and they buy the 6 milligram more than the 3 milligram one.
oh, I need the
So
3 by the way. The 6 is too much for me. I've
thank
learned
you.
because I'm not a tobacco smoker or anything. So it's
No,
like
me
too
either.
strong.
Me either. The most I'll do is like I'll hit a vape every now and then, like these flavored vapes, like the Elf bars, or this one's like a Lost Mary. Shout out Frank. Second shout out. He got another shout out last week. He gave me this one the other
Nice.
day. But so people come in and buy them, bro, so much. And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, yo, I kind of want to try this. I kind of want to try this.
Same
Let
thing
me
happened
try
to me.
this.
Well, not
So
the same, but similar.
I decided to. I was at another gas station. I didn't even buy it from mine. I was at
What?
another gas.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't need them to know that I'm over here doing, I got vices.
Uh-huh. I feel you.
So we went and got drinks or whatever, and she was putting them up. I'm like, yo, let me get a pack of those. And she's like, all right. She didn't card me, which I don't know. I kind of felt slighted a little bit. Maybe I look. You're supposed to card if they look under 30, and I'm under 30. So
I gotta do one.
no, she's trying to say that I look over 30. Bro, I got back to work. I couldn't even figure out how to open the thing. You put it in your upper lip.
I switch it up.
I'm gonna have to try upper lip. It's sitting there in my car. It's been in my car for like 2 weeks. I haven't done it since. So the first time I did it, bro, that shit smacked me in the face, and
Oh,
it was a 3 milligram.
Did you get the sweats?
Yeah, I started getting lightheaded too. I felt
Yeah.
like a bitch
You get lightheaded naturally. I think as your nicotine builds up, you get less of it.
with nicotine.
Do you know the second time I ever did it was last week on the podcast, and I had the sweats.
Really?
I took a few days off because I was like, I never want to feel that again. Guess what I did?
Yeah, no, me
I
either.
was like,
You did it
I was like,
again?
let me try this again. I did it during the day. I got it again. I'm like, what the fuck? But like the first 2 times I tried it, or one time, I was like, I didn't feel anything. So maybe it was a difference of like not eating or being drunk or no alcohol in me. So I just switched it up. But you do get that natural head high and buzz.
Yeah,
But
I wanted to try it
6
because
milligrams is pretty-
nicotine has some benefits. It has some beneficial purposes, And I'm not smoking, and I guess there's not any other crazy chemicals in there like there is like a cigarettes or whatever.
Mhm.
So I was just like mad lightheaded at work. Good thing we weren't doing anything, but that shit, I did not feel well.
You start to immediately feel it like after 5 minutes, and then it escalates to the head, and then
Yeah,
and then it could go in the negative way, which I said the first couple times I did it. You get sweats, and I got it on the podcast. I could tell you exactly the moment, what topic we were talking about. I had to like mute my shit because I was like, I might have to like go either throw up or go remove myself.
dude, that's what I felt like. I felt like
sweating.
I wanted to throw up, but I was like, "There's no way I'm going to throw up from a fucking nicotine pouch. Like this is going
That's
to
what
be
I
terrible. Like they're going to put this on my tombstone. Here lies a man that threw up from a nicotine pouch. I was
He
not
lies a
happening.
bitch.
Yeah, and then I tried it another time when I was working at the gas station, and I had just been outside for a little bit, throwing trash away and shit, and that was definitely not it. Like I should not have done that. I felt terrible. Like I was like, yo, I'm gonna like go outside and just die.
But
Like,
have you tried?
I haven't done it after that.
Oh, okay. You know what's funny is, like I said, the first 2 times I tried it, I was pretty drunk and whatever. So
I want to try it when I'm drunk.
But I did it. I've done it the last probably 3 of the last 4 days because I've been drinking and getting a buzz, and I haven't felt any symptoms. So your body, I think, does adapt. I think the first time, especially if you do like a 6 milligram or 3, and you never did it, I think your body is like shocked at the amount of it that going into your bloodstream. And then after a few times, you're like, your body adjusts because I didn't feel anything. I think I packed one yesterday and I packed 2 the other night and I felt nothing in a good way. I felt no bad symptoms.
At the same time?
No, 2 like within 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because no, I've seen some people that put like 2 or 3.
Oh, no.
I'm
I don't
just
have
like,
an
bro,
addictive
you're
personality,
tripping.
so that's why I'm fine with doing it because I don't have an addictive personality. Everything I do in my life, good or bad, it's because I want to do. It's not feel like I don't feel like my body needs it. I need it to like live life that day. I do everything because I want to. So something like this, if you took it away from me for a week, I would not go to the store and buy it if you told me I can't. Like it just, I enjoy it. Or
oh yeah, no, I'm the
little
same
pet
way.
when I'm drinking.
I'm the same way. I'm like I said, it's been in the car. I haven't tried it since. Is that the Cool Mint? You got the Cool Mint flavor?
Yeah, and like I said,
that's funny because that's the same one I got too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna downgrade to the 3 milligram when I see it in a store.
That's a 6. It's a 6 milligram.
My local spot doesn't have 3s, but I will downgrade because I don't need that much.
I'll bring you some, bro. Let me know when I drive down. Yeah. I'll bring you some.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I want to try different flavors though. They got like Cool Mint, they got Wintergreen, they got this just became a Zen podcast. They got Wintergreen, they got coffee, citrus,
type of people, but
Cool Chill. Yeah, no.
I get it. I get why, because I never did chewing tobacco ever. I never smoked cigarettes.
I tried fucking dip one time and I literally gagged. It was the nastiest thing I ever put in my mouth.
I wouldn't do that because it causes all type of. I like to look at my teeth way too much. I'm not saying I have perfect teeth, but I like having decent or nice teeth in general or good gums. So I wouldn't want to jeopardize
and
that.
Teeth are expensive, bro.
Oh, don't you know it, brother?
Teeth are expensive.
In our household, we're going through it a little bit where
like
things got to get done.
Crowns and root canal, like anything to do with teeth and your oral is fucking not cheap. Pause for real.
Oh, and as you mentioned it, the buzz is starting to engage.
Right. Yeah.
So let's get right into most people would be like, wait, Elvis Escobar, aren't you a Miami?
Yeah, bro. Y'all got skunked, bro.
Aren't you a Giants fan? I am a Giants fan, but
can't do that, bro.
Like Fort Sama, I always what would Fort Sama do is you can never be afraid to make fun of yourself ever in a group chat, in real life. Like have fun, make fun of yourself, because just like the 8 Mile theory, make fun of yourself. Nobody else could say something worse about you than you. So I always like to have fun, especially on a podcast. So diehard Giants fan, smoked 40-0. I don't really have much to say other than Cowboys dominated us, and the momentum swung from after that first drive. And I watched the Dolphins out with Dolphin fans last night, Vito, Patrick, and Drew, and it was a great time. And what am I going to do? I'm wearing my Pompano Beach, Florida hat representing Pompano all day, but also I wanted to make it a little funny and wear Dolphins because I was not about to hop on this podcast and bravely rock Giants gear. So I'll give you your time as a Dolphins fan. Talk about the win over the Chargers.
Y'all suck. Y'all were the only team that didn't score. And you all had the Sunday night game. You all had a primetime game.
Sunday night at home. New era in Giants history. New contract.
Just paid your quarterback. Y'all paid your quarterback for what? To not even put up points on the board? That's
let's talk
tough.
About the Dolphins. Let's talk about the Dolphins.
That's tough. Hey, look. All I want to say is Tua is him. Tua is fucking him. And all you motherfuckers that were out here last year, 2 years ago, preseason this year, training camp, all this shit talking about Tua. Oh, he's got a noodle arm. Oh, he's doing jiu-jitsu. Oh, he should have retired. Oh, he gets concussion after concussion. Oh, he's got a camera on his fucking helmet now. What the fuck for? Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Don't switch ship now. That ship has sailed. Your time to hop on the bandwagon and be a fan and know that Tua was our franchise quarterback, the signs were there. The signs were fucking there of his accuracy and everything that he was doing. That was there for everybody to see. But he had someone holding him back. We had a fucking dumbass head coach in Brian Flores who was holding not just Tua back, but the whole offense and the whole organization back. Now we got a fucking coach that is fucking smart. He's got swag. He's got a fucking just dude. This guy is amazing. Like I love Mike McDaniel. He's that dude. And we put pieces around him, around Tua for him to succeed. And I mean, you saw it yesterday. You saw it last year in spurts. He just got hurt. But what he did yesterday against the guy that he's going to forever be linked to for the rest of his career, Justin Herbert, because he was drafted before him, and then Herbert was drafted, and all this talk has been like, oh, did the Dolphins get the right guy? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Who's better? This, and that. Sure, Herbert's got, the size, the arm strength. It's flashy. Everyone loves to see that. But guess what? Tua's 2-1 against him now. And he outplayed him yesterday. Tua made some fucking great throws on third down when you need it most. And bro, I was just, I was bricked up at work watching this guy just go to work yesterday. He made play after play after play.
Yeah, it was funny because I never forget things that are said before things are proven, and you got to continue to remind people and the media that do say this narrative of Tua won't be able to reach Tyreek down the field. He doesn't have the arm. He has the accuracy, but he doesn't have the arm. He can't throw over 20, 25 yards, and that's where Tyreek Hill dominates. You seen it yesterday. I don't have to fucking talk about it. Watch the highlight, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's what was talked about when that relationship came and you guys got Hill was there's no way he could reach him. There was a training camp footage of him underthrowing him down the field. And guess what? Ever since Tyreek Hill has been on the team, because I had him in fantasy last year, Tyreek Hill, he's been connecting on him 90% of the time. That's just a number I just threw out there. I don't know if it's accurate, but it seems like it. And you could see he put up 200 yards receiving last night, yesterday, and Tua had 456, 465, something like that's. Come on, like not even at home, away, first game of the season where the rest of the league looked very inept overall offensively. The offense was way down to start the season for sure, fantasy wise. You look across fantasy and nobody has over 100, 110 points for a week, and that was weird. So shout out Miami Dolphins and shout out your head coach, because he's my favorite head coach in the league.
The best beginning field position, 35 of LA.
This might be taken down, but
that's a touchdown.
Maybe limit it to 10 seconds so we don't get taken down. Yeah, just that. Throwing down the field 40, 50 yards. He did it multiple times. So fuck all the haters. Two is here. Miami Dolphins in front. And like I said, I benefit. I'm a New York fan through and through. Yeah, do I benefit from Miami sports? 100%. I don't give a fuck. It's where I live. It's where I'll always live, or in Florida in general. So I'm enjoying it. I love it.
This is a fucking dot. This is a dot.
Yeah.
This is a fucking come from behind, shut the fuck up, haters, Dilfer dime. All right? Kevin Harlan, bro.
Cut it.
Kevin Harlan?
Yeah.
Yo,
Kevin
Harlan, man.
It's funny.
He's quicker than a hiccup.
we weren't listening to the audio, so that's the first
so
time
good.
I actually hear that.
Man, dude, there's
Great game. Game of the week. Game of the week. With one game to go, game of the week, no doubt.
On one hand, quarterbacks that make that throw. Dude,
100%.
I'm excited for this season.
I'm not a Dolphins fan, so people who are new to watching this, I'm not a Dolphins fan, but like I said, my pod mate is a Dolphins fan. One of my closest friends is a Dolphins fan, and I like to see my friends happy. I'm not a hater. I don't root against my friends, first and foremost. I root for their happiness. My happiness kind of maybe first. Second, maybe my friends sometimes when it's convenient. But I'll always have love for the Heat. I'm an Inter Miami fan. I'll always have love for the Dolphins. But my team is first, but they don't get the right to be talked about on this podcast because I don't want to be.
Y'all didn't score.
Right now. Yeah, we didn't score. So we didn't show up to play. So why
There's
should
nothing
I
to talk about
and talk about them? Exactly. So any last thoughts of Dolphins, Chargers? Because I know you had a lot of things to say in group chats. over the last 25.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna talk my shit. It don't matter, and I'm always gonna be here whether we win or lose. I don't care. That's just the reality of it. If I'm here talking while we are winning, I better be there when we lose. But I don't think we're gonna do much losing this year. We play the Patriots next week. I think we're gonna fucking smack them in Foxborough. I'm not worried about that shit.
They
We're
look
gonna fucking
better.
smack them.
They look better in the
They
second half.
fucking suck, bro.
Yeah, I would have
They
loved the
suck.
Eagles to lose the first game. That would have felt okay to me if we were both 0-1, but damn. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it looks good. Where are you playing in Miami, I assume?
No, we're playing in Foxborough.
Oh, first game's on the road. Dude, you go 2-0 on the road?
Yeah.
Woo!
First game on the road. First game on the road, and then we got the Broncos on our home opener.
One big stat, I think I didn't look it up, but I heard it on Pat McAfee that Tua didn't get sacked.
No sacks.
Huge.
No sacks.
If you could
with our starting left tackle out. Teron
if
Armstead,
my
he did not
man,
play.
if my man, and I say my man because only what happened last year when we were in attendance for that game on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals, Twin Yeeks. That was scary. So I don't want to see that ever again because he's a great human, but also
you don't want to see that to happen to anybody. You don't want to see that kind of stuff happen to anybody. So, but yeah,
if you could keep his jersey
we
clean,
need him to stay upright.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Dolphins. Anything, football. We're trying to talk a lot of football on this podcast as it is, but we want to talk less on the field. We're going to talk about the Giants, a lot of Dolphins on this podcast. But we will talk about around the league too. Just anything that stand out.
I want the Tua hate. How loud that Tua hate was to be just as loud for Patrick Mahomes, for Joe Burrow, for just Justin Herbert. Because what did Joe Burrow do yesterday? And everyone wants to talk about, Joe Burrow.
That's another game.
He's carrying this team. No, Joe Burrow got fucking Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, who are both top 10 receivers. Okay, maybe top 10 if you want to reach with T. Higgins. But Tua's got 2 top 15 receivers as well. And he did his thing. And Jalen Waddle wasn't that prominent yesterday. He still made some plays. But T. Higgins has 0 catches. Come on, dog. He got benched. Burrow got benched in the fourth quarter. But you don't hear none about that. Maybe sure in local media, in Cincinnati media, you might be hearing it. But in mainstream, in national news, you're not hearing anything. Everyone's slurping up Tua now, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But don't switch that shit now. That shit's fucking fake.
That's another game that I was at Tin Roof in Fort Lauderdale last night, and that yesterday afternoon, and that's a bar that's now a Cleveland Browns bar, and obviously Cleveland Browns aren't like a team that I root for, but it's not a team that I don't go against. Where it's like I'm married to now someone from Ohio, and my father-in-law is a season ticket holder of the Cleveland Browns. My brother-in-law, which is Bree's stepbrother, is a Cleveland Browns fan. So I kind of got it where it's like, I guess you would say that would be the third team I don't root for, because I hate people that, my first team is this, and then the other team that I root for, and no, first and foremost, it's 98% Giants, and then my other 2% is like Dolphins and Cleveland, because I want them to do well, because like I said, family, friends, I always root for having a good time and being able to watch games with them. But Cleveland looked great. Deshaun Watson had on one of my fantasy teams, looked great. Didn't even have a great game. 154, 1-1, touchdowns and interceptions. But Nick Chubb, amazing. And then, offensively, they didn't do shit. They were both in the rain, so there's no excuse with that. That's a game that stuck out to me. That was great. Niners coming out 30-7. What's another game? The Packers Bears with Jordan Love.
Yeah. Jordan
having
Love,
his first game.
I'm
38 points. It don't matter who you put 38 points
don't
up
matter,
against.
yeah.
It wasn't a fluke 38 points. It wasn't like a fumble recovery or a kick return. It was Jordan Love had 245 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Doesn't matter if you're doing it against the Bears, because the Bears are trying to be up and coming. So it doesn't matter. Rivalry game to me always counts equal. Like it's
In
rivalry,
Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago. So first game of the new era of Jordan Love. So got to give him his flowers now. No asterisk on that. That's really it for football that stood out for me. The other games were just
The Thursday night game stood out a little bit. I mean, the Lions went in there and they did their thing.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yeah,
I got all the respect in the world for Mike Tirico. He's an OG. He's a vet. He's been doing it for a long time. But when you go out there and say this game has an asterisk for the Lions because the Chiefs didn't have Chris Jones and they didn't have Travis Kelce, that's kind of fucked up, bro. It doesn't matter. It's week 1, bro. Any given Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Saturday, whatever. If you're on that field, bro, you're playing against another professional. You're playing against other professionals who have done the same thing that you've done. So you don't need to take anything away, especially from the fucking Detroit Lions, bro, because the Detroit Lions have been bad for a very long time. So if they get a win like that against the reigning Super Bowl champions in their house, first game of the season, first game of the NFL season, you don't say something like that, bro. You give them all the props. That's Lions are going to be good. I think they're going to win that division.
Yeah, they're fun. They're definitely a fun team, and it starts with the head coach and his Dan Campbell. He gets criticized as being like a rah-rah guy, and a lot of guys in that, you know, that have that philosophy as rah-rah don't get too many years, because once you start losing, you know, that rah-rah kind of, it goes empty-handed. So the fact that he's able to be like that tough guy that takes no shit, and they've been playing hard for the last 2 seasons. Were they on Hard Knocks? Were they on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago? Yeah. And that's what made me or America fall in love with them. And, you know, what's buddy's name? Wide receiver? Brown. Your boy.
Amon-Ra
St.
Brown.
St. Pierre. Yeah, he's awesome. They got a great offense, and they're fun to watch. So, with the Giants losing in the NFC and then all the other NFC quote unquote wild card teams that may not win their division or win it, doesn't look good. So luckily we have the Arizona Cardinals next week. So Arizona Cardinals,
the NFC's wide open.
Tanking. Yeah. They're tanking. So it's a perfect matchup next week to bounce back and go 1-on-1 for the Giants. So like I said, any last thoughts on NFL week 1 overall?
Fins up, bitch.
Cool. Perfect. One other topic. We do have a guest coming on later on the episode, maybe in 15 minutes. We just wanted to get a few topics out the way. So when we lock in with that guest, we could, you know, talk a little bit about what they represent and what they have going on. I wanted to talk UFC 293. Decent card from what I watched. Great main event. I was locked in. We had a few people over on Saturday watching it. I want to hear your thoughts about it. Strickland, very controversial. A lot of Twitter people hate him because they didn't realize who he was before, and now it's getting wind. You know, when you become a champion, all the controversial shit you say. I find him very funny, very loose, very himself. He's not trying to say things for sound bites. I think he's been himself since day one. He jokes about his dark past, about childhood trauma and abuse, and he uses an outlet. The greatest thing, I don't know if you could pull it up, if you could find it, but he talks about in his post conference was, you know, shout out like childhood trauma, shout out my dad being a piece of shit because it motivated me and made me who I am today, you know, jokingly and tongue in cheek. And it was very intense, but some people could relate to that, where it's like, you could use your childhood trauma or whatever goes on in your life as a negative and it brings you down. And this is somebody that put in a positive. And one thing I take away from that, if you do pull it up, is he was like, honestly, if it wasn't for UFC, I most definitely would be in jail or dead because I would have probably committed crimes. And he knows himself. And I love that, where, yeah, you might not like what he says. And I get that about, you know, controversial shit about women in the kitchen, stuff like that. And it's kind of for jokes, but he's a real dude and you got to respect that. And he's gone through a lot and he uses that as fuel. So the fact that he could be himself on that platform and be exactly what America doesn't appreciate nowadays, I think it's almost like people do gravitate towards that from being like, hey, you might not like what he says, but he's being himself, and it's tough to hear sometimes. But man, he put in that work against Izzy. What's your thought about the card in general and the main event? While you look that up, I know you're doing a couple things at once.
Yeah, I was just pulling it up. I have it pulled up, but I do want to talk about what you were just saying, man. Bro, like this card there was a lot of shit going on, a lot of shit talking about this card because it didn't have that many big names on it besides like the co-main and the main event because Kai Kara fans pulled out last minute. But dude, Sean Strickland is a man's man. Like if you don't like this guy, it's I don't know why. I don't know why you don't like this guy. Yeah, he might say some things that certain people might not like, or it might not go over with some people, but just the confidence that this guy has in himself and everything he's been through in his life, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. Honestly. And like you said, he's comfortable. He's comfortable in his own skin. He knows who he is. And what he said, that if it wasn't for fighting, if it wasn't for the UFC be locked up, that is 100% true, because you sent me him on the Joe Rogan podcast and I listened to it, and kind of the stuff this guy says is insane. It doesn't make sense to me. You're muted. But dude, what he did on Saturday night, I saw Izzy lose on your wedding night, but it was a different kind of loss for him. And then just what Strickland did, bro, his defense was insane. He prepared for that fight like so well. And I'm glad he brought the belt back to America, man. I'm glad he did. Although I'm a huge Adesanya fan, I think it was just meant to be for him, man. And it just goes to show that no matter what you go through, he's the perfect example for this. This is what I'm about to say is cliche as fuck, but it just goes to show no matter what you go through, no matter how you're brought up, no matter what shit happens in your life, bro, you can still come out and be successful. Okay, whether you want to say being a UFC champ is not successful, that shit's successful as fuck, because the UFC is the top fucking promotion for MMA. It's the best fucking thing right now for combat sports, whatever. And you're a middleweight champ and you just beat one of the all-time greats and you made it look fucking easy. So yeah. I'm gonna share the video if it gets taken down. I don't think it will, but I
had Strickland winning the match 4-1.
My brother did as well. Yeah, 4-1 for me. Yeah, 4-1. Yeah. 1, 3, 4, and 5.
To go from everything you've been through to now holding that belt that says you're the baddest man at middleweight on the planet, what do you think about that?
Yeah, thank God for child abuse, right? Fuck yeah. Let's go, childhood traumas and repressed memories. You got me to where I needed to be, man. Like, fucking dad, you're fucking awesome, man. All of the years of abuse, you really...
To go from everything you've been through.
That's a shorter version of it.
Yeah, so you can see in that video, he's joking about it, but he's really feeling that shit.
Yeah.
He's really that shit is hitting him. And there was other people in that card that said some controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Words in their post fight. And I was expecting him to do something similar like that, but I feel like once he realized that he was going to win, he started talking so much shit to Izzy. And just, bro, he was speechless. He didn't know what to say after the fact.
Oh, we have a cat in the way.
He didn't know what to say. He was just like, bro, like, it was awesome, bro. Like, that was one of the greater performances I've seen. And I don't think many people more than Sean deserve that, man. I don't know him as a person, but like I said, he's a man's man, bro. And he's been through a lot of shit. And I mean, will he go back, fight Izzy again, and defend the title? I don't know, but it doesn't fucking matter anymore, man.
I think the fight deserves a rematch.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
which will benefit everybody because Izzy obviously has gone back and forth with the title a couple times now since he won it. And now this is the second time in 4 bouts, or not 4 bouts, but he defended it. He had a longer reign a couple years ago, but
yeah,
it's going back and forth.
he's the most active champ.
Yeah,
Fuck, I'm gonna.
Good for him. It was in Australia, right? Was it in Australia?
Australia.
What time was it over there? So it was like a 12
It was
hour.
like
Is it
12 hours? Yeah, so it was early as hell.
It was early as hell there. That's why I was shocked that it was normal time here for that. They didn't adjust it, which is cool. But yeah, a second fight that didn't go his way that you did. Is it called the Shuby? Is it called
the Shuey?
Shuey.
Man, that shit hurt me so bad.
What about that fight?
Dude, this poor guy, man. He's just been through the fucking buzzsaw. He fought fucking Sergey Pavlovich, who's a backup for the title fight with John Jones and Stipe coming up in November. He got knocked out by him in quick fashion. I was there. And then this guy, before that, he fought Cyril Gane, who was an interim champ. Cyril Gane lost to John Jones. And now he fights fucking Alexander Volkov. Dude's 6'7", man. Volkov is 6'7". That's a tall motherfucker. That's tough. And I mean, I don't know where he goes from there, but I think, I hate saying it, but I think he's just going to be a gatekeeper for like the top 10 in the heavyweight division. I don't fight. I don't do any of that kind of stuff, but my unsolicited, unprofessional advice to him would be just take a good 6 to 8 months off. Really try and just slim down a little bit. You don't have to go down in division because he's probably not going to lose 60 pounds. It's going to be tough for him. But, get down because he weighs in at 265 and a half or 266 and a half, which is the max. Get down to like 235, 240, whatever, something more manageable. And I don't know. He relies on his power, man. He relies on the knockouts. He relies on that big fucking shot, which is fine and all. But when you face these guys in the top 5, that are just as good as you, if not better than you, you need to have more than knockout power because all those guys in that division in the fucking top 5 in heavyweight, they got the same shit, So get more well-rounded and just come back healthy, man. You've taken a beating. No one's gonna say anything bad against you. No one's gonna take that away from you. Like you fucking fought some of the best fucking heavyweights in the last year.
Yeah, not all L's are created equal. There's positives in L's sometimes that you take where you get, UFC, you get bloody, you show heart, you fight to the end, and sometimes you lose. Like, I don't think UFC is one of those things where it's not like sports where an L is an L no matter what. You could find a lot of positives and you could still be a fan favorite or still be liked by the masses and still be promotional worthy in a loss. And I think he showed that he got beat up pretty well. But in the UFC, as long as you could go and you could show fight and heart, you could always have an opportunity to prove yourself again all the time throughout their career, as long as he does it. So I like him. I don't know. I haven't watched too many of his fights over the last few years. Probably that's it. But yeah, he's interesting. He's fun. And that's what UFC is now officially. WWE and UFC, I think Monday Night Raw is going to happen tonight. And it's the last Monday Night Raw under the complete control under the McMahons. So that means moving forward, Endeavor will create the relationship, right? Endeavor, it is, right? Endeavor will create that relationship and that partnership with UFC and WWE. So that'll be interesting to see both entities moving forward, how they mix it up. And I think it'd be a great promotion because WWE is at the highest profit-wise and viewership that it's been all time. And UFC is at an all-time great. I think that partnership is going to be great. We talked about it on the podcast a few episodes ago, how that relationship is perfect. You got sports entertainment with WWE, and then you got sports entertainment and and fighting with the UFC. I think moving forward, it's awesome if they do it well, and I know they'll do it well because they're at the top of their industry right now.
Yeah, the UFC doesn't miss. We got another title fight this week coming up with Valentina Shevchenko and and Grasso. I think it's going to be fun. It's in Mexico. It's on Mexican Independence Day.
Oh,
They
nice.
they just plan shit so perfect, and they do a good job of it, man. It's awesome to see. I'm excited. Shit don't miss, bro. And their partnership with WWE, I think it's going to be good for all fans involved. I'm excited. I don't even watch wrestling like that, but at the gym they got this TV in like the dumbbell area, and they play like throwback clips and stuff like that. So whenever I'm in between my sets or whatnot, I'll tune in and watch some of it. I might have to start watching some shit.
Hey, it's always good fun. Like I always say, WWE and wrestling always brings me back to my childhood, and it's the one thing in my life outside of sports that I'm never stressed about. It's always fun. So like sports, I consume so much of it, and it's sometimes either stressful or like anxiety driven with my teams, but WWE and wrestling is always like pure fun. It's meant for pure entertainment, and that's what I watch it for, and I love
sure.
it. And everybody that comes over my house, I've become or made them into fans, just as like
myself included.
Like a subtle viewer. It's like it's fun. Like Logan Paul now involved. Obviously, you always have Brock Lesnar. You have the people that entertain, and that's what we all love. Entertainment is just keep us entertained, have good fun with it, and that's why I love the dynamic of those two. But we're moving along in this podcast, episode 93, and we do have a guest. Fort will intro him, and we'll have some fun getting to know our guest on the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm excited for this guest because this is one of the first people that I knew when I was back in high school that was creating something for themselves, and he was trying to build it up, and he wanted to do something. He wanted to kind of put himself on the map, which I thought was awesome, and I don't know if many people believed in him. I don't know why, but he just always persevered, and like I said in a few episodes ago, I really wanted to do some stuff on this podcast and kind of showcase people. Not just from South Florida, but mostly from South Florida because that's where I'm from and that's where I grew up, and that South Florida made me who I am. And it's funny because now I go to different spots and they're like, especially here in Georgia, they're like, yo, you're not from here. You're not from here. Like you got a different thing about you. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Florida. I'm from South Florida. And they're like, yeah, I could tell. So South Florida, man, it has a special place in my heart, and it has a special thing for other people with creatives and whatnot. And just to see what my guy has done in the past year, and not only do what he's done, but to branch off and do other things and to be consistent with it for now, since high school for like 12 years now is awesome. So I'm just going to let him into the lab and he'll go from there. My boy, Ronnie, thank you, sir, for coming on. I appreciate it. Welcome.
It's good of y'all. Thank you guys for having me and just letting me be a part of this because, man, it's a blessing. It's crazy, too. I didn't even know you moved to Georgia, dog. It's like that Broward County, when it's in you, it just never leaves.
It doesn't leave, man. Yeah.
But it's been a fun journey, bro, over the past 10, 12 years. It's crazy the time flies, but just staying around the things I love. Just like wrestling, bro. It's like you love these things as a child, and as you get older, it's like people, they try to throw shade at it. Oh, that shit's fake. Oh, you like that? That's whack. But for me, it was just like I loved clothing. I loved the streets. I loved the fashion. I loved all these different elements, and just being able to stay going at that every day. It's never about making it the craziest, most intricate thing that is the biggest flex. But for me, it's just happiness and it's peace and knowing that I'm doing what I was meant to be doing, and that's just through the love of creativity and community and being able to take people's ideas and translate them into things. And it ties into just everything. I mean, my first block was this is before Instagram we're talking, but it was I'm trying to build a brand. I know that I could do this. Instead of rocking this or that, let me make my own thing, and then I could get my homies to wear it. We could take pictures of it. We could, just keep growing it. I was on Tumblr heavy at the time. And through that, it just got deeper and deeper. I was like, oh man, if I'm gonna start doing this, I should really learn how to do it. So I got my first I got a DTG machine, and that's not really what I was looking for, because that's just a different type of printing. What I was looking for was screen printing. So then I got into that. And as it grew, I was just, kind of helping other people with theirs. And learning along the way and just really putting a lot of love into it. And it just created a lot of opportunities working with a lot of people in the music industry and the sports industry and the entertainment industry with hotels, resorts, whatever. But it was just built off, you do good, you're honest, you're integrable, you come through and you care, and people come back and they wear your name loud and proud. So it's just that faith in yourself and that faith in that vision of what you're working towards, and like everything else will just work out. You just can't stress the how-tos.
Love it, bro. And obviously, nice to meet you. Appreciate you hopping on. We've been communicating kind of Fort's been the middleman between us as far as kind of getting to know you and when you come on, and you were excited too. So just before we get into anything, obviously let people know the name of your company, either handles or stuff like that, give them a nice intro into what you do. And then we'll kind of dive into, the story of what you've become or what you're doing now.
So Hypnotized is the brand. Hypnotized since 2012, heavy in the streets. And that the premise of that is just working towards what you love every day becomes sort of like secondary in your mind, where it's just so natural. You wake up and you're just on go. You're not even thinking about it. It's that state of just keep doing it. No matter how weird or crazy it is, like a lot of people wake up every day and all they want to do is go paint on trains. A lot of people wake up every day and all they want to do is just throw their body against the concrete on a skateboard and just looking for that trick. It's not for nobody else's satisfaction other than their own. And that was what Hypnotized was founded upon. Mint Prints is our print shop, which again, just by being active in the community, by caring about how I was doing things, it led to a lot of, just great opportunities to work with more people. And Hypnotized Clothing is the IG for Hypno, and then Mint Prints is the print shop on IG. And those are the main two, that I'm pushing. And obviously Ronnie.works, that's, the behind the scenes of just the art, the business, the creative, and, that.
Yeah, no, man, like you said, definitely I've realized with some of your stuff, you were saying it was more so simple. It wasn't really like a huge flex type of thing. I always remember rocking that jacket you gave me. I traded you something for it. It was the black jacket with the cheetah print. With the cheetah print pouch, bro. My brother still has the burgundy shirt with the Hypnotized logo on the chest. My brother still has that. He rocks it. He's got the green one, the dark green one with the flag on the back. Still got that.
That boy got the 2012 OGs out there.
Yeah,
it was a pair of
OGs,
bro. I traded you for those outside of BSD.
Yeah, outside. Yep. I remember that shit. I forgot what shoes it was, but I remember everything going down. Was that? Do you really? Fuck yeah, bro. I love that shit. Was that going back to not being like a huge, having your clothing like a huge flex or flashy or anything, just being more subtle? Was that always something you wanted to do, or was that like along the lines that you were like, all right, I could rock with this. This is more so my style.
The intent, bro. Forever the intent was just to keep the longevity. Doing it for as long as you want, never being forced. It was never about, I need to be the biggest. I need to be the best. I need this many sales, bro. To this day, I give out so much more than I sell, but it's about the love of doing it and what it means to people and the representation in the streets and people's pride when they're wearing it and them knowing like they have access to it. Because for me, it's just still like, I'll get there. But then other people see it, or like people will come through like, yo, this is you. Like, yo, I've been seeing this everywhere for years and this and that. Like, how do I buy this? Where the fandom of it and the support of it is so much realer because it's not stuffed down people's throats. It's not forced. It's off the cuff. And the ones that are really doing shit are wearing it and they're proud to be in it. So that long game is definitely what I'm on, and just the longevity of staying around the things that I've always loved since a child as I mature and as my life changes and I enter different chapters, still keeping that youthfulness in me and having fun with it. And obviously it has gotten a lot more businessy, but that's just life.
That's the name of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I mean, you promoted. There's not a main spot in Broward County that you go to that you don't look around while you're driving through and you're like, oh shit, that's a fucking Hypnotized sticker. It'll be smacked on wherever. I fucking smacked that shit. It popped up on my fucking Snapchat feed the other day. The memories. I smacked that shit on the side of a Spirit plane when I was flying to Dallas. I was like, and it made it through. You got some of the best stickers, bro. honestly, like your stickers are high quality since I can remember. I don't know if you still got the same ones, if you still do
course,
it, but
bro. We do all that in house. Like I'm using the best premium vinyls and the street team, bro. The street team, there it is.
yeah, see, there it is. Yep.
Holding it
Yep.
down.
See?
So yeah, it's funny because to me, I was just always like, I'm young and I'm seeing like graffiti all over I-95 and I'm just seeing stickers everywhere and they just caught my eye. So I was like, man, like I could do that too. I could have my friends help me with this, and like it just led into something, and it's just longevity, consistency. You keep going. I don't do it for anybody other than myself, and like just having fun with it. It's like, yo, that's a sick place to advertise right there. Like, she probably shouldn't be saying this online. That's a good.
As long as they don't know where. Yeah, that's true.
That's a
Gotta
good
be
little
careful what you
spot.
say.
And it's crazy. You see something, you put it there, and you look back like, hold up, bro, I did that 7 years ago. It's still there. Like, some people, they don't even think about it, but other people, they're driving down that street, I don't know how many times, and it's just ingrained in their brain. You create something that just kind of captivates somebody's eye, and then they can't not see it. It's just everywhere. So that was always just the little mystery eggs around the city where it just is a reminder, just stay doing what you love.
Hey, if we could that logo with Enter the Lab logo on a tee or a hoodie or a hat would look right. Look proper.
No. We could get y'all right with the merch too. Now I got to get y'all a little sticker pack for having me on here, but definitely, we got all the machines. I'm still here in the shop, man. We got our little.
I feel like you're always there, bro.
I love that.
I mean, I've gotten better, bro, but life is.
I feel like you got a room. You got a room in there with a mattress and.
Back in the day, I built this out for a living, bro. This is a little crazy in here right now. But I put in a stove in here. I put a fridge, a washing machine. I had a bed upstairs. But then business grew, and I got a house. And I was just like, all right, let me just not be, get married. A wife ain't trying to be living in the shop with you. But it was set for that. And then as it grows, it's just like, all right, like this ain't feasible. I need the business space. So it just, you go through these evolutions and changes where it's like there. But in those early years, bro, I wasn't going out. I wasn't going to the club. I didn't have no girlfriends. I wasn't involved in none of that. I was working on my craft. I was working on my passions. I was turning nothing into something. And now it's still like in those early little, like that early time where it's just starting to get up, like those seeds are starting to sprout, but there's still such a long way to go. It's a long game, and I'm grateful to have spent as much time in here. And over the past 2-3 years, I'm grateful to have spent as little time in here because I've had a very strong team holding me down, bro. I had a lot of employees in here, and now I'm just like kind of going through another transition where it's like, bro, like all that employees and payroll, it ain't it. Like, fuck it, I could do it myself and just put more bread in my own pockets instead of trying to make sure everybody else is good. And that's been like the latest fork in the road of like, you think business is supposed to be this one way. I always had it in my head of like, all right, like we just have these people do this and like that will give me the time to do this. And, it's never really what you think it's supposed to be. So it's just kind of continually reinventing and reimagining what needs to be and don't have any assumption of like, it needs to be like this. And take it for what it is.
I love that in the background we could hear, and you're muting it, which we appreciate.
Sorry,
but
I was
just gonna say, is there like business being done as we record on the podcast, or are there things being created, right now in your lab?
Everybody else is out. It's 8:00, so everybody else is going home for the day. But I'm still here just because. Like once I get home, bro, like my cat, I got these little Sphinx cats are all running around on my computer. My wife,
we know all about cats on this podcast.
Be with me, so this is where I at least like have the ability to like sit and like concentrate and think and not have distractions and also be like in it. But that's because nobody's here. But that is a compressor. That's a very large compressor that runs the air on the machine, so it doesn't like just deflate all the air. It has to kind of gradually like let it out, so that way,
all the technicalities of it.
I love that you brought up stuff that you do for, how you do it for the community and pretty much the love of the game, even though you're making money off of it or whatnot, or, it's your business at this point. Kind of one thing that I always loved that you did, and unfortunately I was always either out of town or I just couldn't make it to all the cookouts and events that you do. I want to kind of talk about that you do, because that is awesome, bro. And just everything that you do there.
Community. Community. You can't build one thing alone, bro. It takes a village. Like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm trying to start my clothing brand and this and that. And it's just like, bro, like community is what it is. And for probably like 18 months, every single month, bro, we had a barbecue, free barbecue at the shop. I would go to Costco, I'd get burgers, I'd get hot dogs. My homie Daz would run the grill. And it would just be like a fun community outing and just give back. Like with this space we have, I'd open up the doors. We have a big alleyway in the back. So everybody would just come through and it was a vibe. And it was definitely like a very good time, but it was also like not focused around the right things, right? Where there was just like a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, and like, that ain't me, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be hosting like a bunch of people getting drunk and cleaning up. Like, that's not it. So lately it's just been more of a shift of we've set up a skate shop over next door and just more mindful things to put on to the next generation that aren't glorifying drugs and alcohol and all that, and just making sure they know that, like, bro, you keep your head on straight and you stay working towards what you got. It's there. So that being said, the next event is September 23rd here at the shop. We're going to have a quick swap. And when I was on y'all's link tree about to hop in on this, I noticed who's running the Broward Vintage.
My boy Ben. So he's been doing that for, I think, the pandemic started in 2020, 2021. He was always doing it for like, let's say 5 years. And similar situation where it's like you're working a dead end job or you're working a job that you don't love and you have a passion for something. And he quickly had time because he was working at home to do both. And then what happened was, like, he loved it so much he loves vintage clothes. I've never met a person that knows more about clothing and brands and the business aspect. And I've been working with him. We basically, I work for him or with him, taking pictures so he could post it on because he has so much inventory that he needed help with that. So I kind of do that as a side gig. But yeah, Ben, he's a great dude. I met him 2 years ago. He's one of my closest friends now. And Broward Vintage. And he's been full steam on this. Like, that's his full-time job right now. Like, going thrifting, finding things that normal people, throw away, that he'll find his gold and post it and do well for himself. So I've learned so much from him from a business aspect that I'm like, wow, there's so many entrepreneur ways to, if you have a couple bucks, you could figure out how to make that couple bucks turn into a business and not have, a store or something. And then it evolves to what you have now. Look at you in the background. Look at all the shit you just have, just showing us right there with the color paint and the graffiti. Like, I can't imagine what you're not showing. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope.
My favorite is when people walk in, because from the outside, bro, this looks like a rundown apartment. So people always walk in and they're like mad nervous because, bro, I keep it low key. I don't got no signs. If you're looking for me, you're looking for me. You're going to find us. But like, to the randoms walking by, like, I don't got time to entertain all that. So people walk in and like, yo, what did I just walk into? Like, they're looking all over the place because on the outside, it's such a juxtaposition of like, you're thinking this looks like something bad, but then you come in and you're like, oh, wow, like this world over here, I never even knew this existed. So creating that reality around was always the intention. And there was thought and there was like, I want color. I don't want this to look like when I was starting my brand, bro, I was trying to find all these other print shops to do my stuff. And it was just dusty, dirty, ink all over the floor. It just wasn't the vibe. So for me, it was like, all right, let me take my passions and intertwine it. But speaking back on the Broward Vintage, is he down in South Florida? Are y'all in the area?
Yeah, he currently.
Come on now. Tell my boy Ben he got to pull up.
Yeah, no, let's figure that out because that'll be a good business aspect. Because I met people that he deals with that has done what he's doing and has evolved into, they had somebody he knows had a store in Fort Lauderdale. He sells vintage clothing to like Fat Joe and all these people because some people come to Florida and hey, who's your connect with the best vintage clothes? I think he told me a story of somebody he knows, like they were going to Disney World or something. And it was like, hey, who do you know that has a lot of Mickey Mouse and Disney stuff for my kids that we could go? And he hit them up and they'll swap clothes all the time. Like the connections and the business you grow from other people is so important in that industry or your industry, where it's like you need to know people to swap material and be like, hey, I'll give you, we'll buy each other's clothing because he collects so much. And that person might have an eye for streetwear, and that person might have an eye for X, Y, and Z, and you swap and you do business together. It's really cool. It's really fascinating. I love that industry is everything. I was just talking about it to a couple friends last night. The 90s clothing has gotten it right. Like, you look at 90s clothing, it's the best decade of clothing, I think, in the last 40 years, 30 years. They, as far as like starter jackets for football, like basketball gear, like all the basketball uniforms were the best back in the day. It's like 90s clothing will be timeless forever because people have a demand for it. So yeah, I'm learning. I've kind of been helping him out for now, 2023, and it's lucrative, man. You could really establish your presence. You go on the eBay account. He has 99.8 recommendation and great customer service and stuff like that. He grinds. He works very hard.
That's dope, man.
So he's located he's located in Coconut Creek, Delray area.
All right, dog.
Not Delray, Deerfield,
man. Because that's where. So we're having the swap, and that's basically what we're highlighting is other collectors, other thrifters, other people with brands, just bringing people together in a space where it's not profiting no other big bar or no other big conglomerate that's like, oh yeah, we're hosting this event and they're trying to piggyback off the coattails of all these younger creatives. It's like, nah, like everybody pull up. You ain't got to pay nothing. Give me $5 just because I'm gonna have to clean up after everything, and come sell and make your money and be around other people that are also cherishing and like doing these things. So I don't know if you've ever been to the swap shop, but the swap shop is like right there where everybody just pulls up, lays their stuff out. And that is what that event on the 23rd is going to be. So I will check his Instagram.
Yeah, let's get together after we sign off here and swap information. We'll figure it out. We'll run out together.
That'll be Target. You know, he's in it. And that's like what you were saying is the connections and the people and the networking. That is business, bro. That is the art. And that is where I thank God I feel like I've been so successful, just knowing how to navigate and communicate and deal with people and being patient, understanding like what people are looking for, being able to like get them what they want and just ready and willing to meet the next person they might have for you. Cause like if I like streamline back, like how did I get some of these like big clients? And I'll just like look back, like I met this dude, he introduced me to this dude, and I introduced this dude, and like you just spiderweb out, like, oh, that's how I met him. And it's just funny because it's like it all started with events at the shop. I met my homie Lamar, and Lamar introduced me to Turi, and then Turi introduced me to Rick, and then Rick introduced me to Matt, and then Matt introduced me to him, and it goes on and on. So the more position, the more time you can put yourself in those positions to be meeting people and to have that good face on it, to be approachable and to just talk your shit with whatever you're into. Like the right ones will come, the right ones will fall. But that is where having those barbecues and those events, bro, it pays out tenfold, because when you bring all those people together, there's just a special power there. And that is the only way for us to really like grow, is to the power in the numbers, bro. Otherwise, like all these big developers in Fort Lauderdale and Boca and Delray, like the big money from New York, bro, they're going to sit there and like, they're going to create these little spots and like put in their little GMs and try and like take off the culture. And like, nah, we got to realize we can put that power in our own hands, but it comes from coming together and like, you know, really doing something together on a ground floor level and not feeling like, oh, I just need this or that. Like, bro, you got it all right here. You got it all. Everything in the world is on your phone right here. It's just you putting in the work to go get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dude, I can't begin to tell you how much that conversation that you guys just had about, you guys don't even know each other. You guys haven't even met each other, and you guys are talking shop and talking business.
We about to link up, though.
Dude, that shit just like makes my heart full, bro. That's like one of the main things that I've been wanting to do with this pod and just take it to the next level. And we're kind of running a little bit short on time, and we'll have you on again because I also do want to have Lamar on. I love how you guys linked up and you guys are building something as well. So I do want to have another episode where you talk about Mint Prints and everything that you guys are doing there as well. But man, Ronnie, bro, like I've known you for a minute now, and it's awesome just to see that not only did you create something that you love and you're passionate about, but you kept going with it and you kept being consistent about it. And I mean, like you're fucking popping off now, and like it's just fruits of your labor, bro. That's awesome. I'm glad you were on. You're going to be on again. We'll just figure it out. You know, I'll be down there, not on the 23rd, unfortunately, when you do the event, but I'll be down the week after. So we'll get with Ray. Maybe we can pop up on the shop, do something. Who knows, bro? Like, just once you and I get together, once Ray and I get together, our brains just start working, and who knows what the fuck we can do at that time.
I'm tripping like, wait, who's Ray? This is my boy Elvis Escobar.
Elvis, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's yeah. It's like you know, like Brad Pitt's name isn't named Brad Pitt. You know, that's my alias.
I love it. I almost threw Ron the Don on there, but I was like, damn, let me chill.
Hey, you can, next time, you don't have to chill on this podcast. You be yourself.
Next time,
but whatever you want,
willing, man.
Yeah,
I thank y'all for just allowing me to be on this and just share some love with y'all, man. It's a blessing.
What we do with our guests before they hop off, just any shout outs you got, anything you want to leave to we got about 174 people watching right now, our viewers, your social, anything you want, just now's your time, man. The floor is yours.
Thank God always, man. I didn't really choose any of this. God really just put me. I didn't get to choose who my parents were. I didn't get to choose what country I was from. I didn't get to choose that I got clean water. All that was just given to me. So thank God always, because that right there is a lot of people, they complain and they I just need this or that. But it's that humility and just knowing yo, you're alive, you're in good health. That right there is the ultimate blessing. And then from there, just work towards something every day. Don't just sit there having ideas, bro. Everybody got ideas, but sit there and get to step in and just put in the work, and it'll pay off. But keep the faith, and you got to be your own biggest fan, because nobody else is going to be pushing it but you. And thank God for, my family, my wife, everything. And if anybody ever needs any help, if they got questions, if they, trying to get into screen printing or starting a brand, or they don't know, about whatever, hit me up, Ronnie.works on Instagram. And I'm always here to just be of service to the people, bro. That's my 2 cents.
We always preach love on this podcast. So that's why anytime, like I said, didn't meet you until just now, didn't talk to you prior. That's why I love the energy where it's this podcast. We've seen other podcasts that are or other people we try to get on, and they're very selfish in what they want to talk about or what they want to proclaim they are. And we always said when we have a podcast together, because we had one earlier where it's we want to make sure that we tell people, we show love to people, we have them on, and love is love always on this platform. So I'm glad we were able to have you on, brother.
Thank you, bro. I got some stories too, man. I can tell you how I got just fucked over real bad a couple times.
Oh, we can go into it. This isn't the first time you'll be on, so we'll have.
There's been a lot of lessons learned, man. Don't trust nobody, even if they're the top in the world. You don't trust them; they ain't gonna pay their bills, dog.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, don't put your trust in human beings, because they'll most likely always let you down. But it's good to know when you can link up with people that you can trust or build that relationship with that are a solid 100%. So.
Right like that, y'all boys. Is there Monday Night Football tonight? Am I about to go watch some football?
Yes, sir. Yep. Josh,
enjoy, y'all boys.
Bills, Jets. All right, my guy Ronnie. Enter the lab, exit the lab.
Peace
Thank
and
you,
blessings.
sir.
Love.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Perfect.
That was awesome, bro. Yeah, that was
clean.
That
Love
was
it.
awesome.
Good energy. I wasn't sure what we were gonna go with that, so it was good that.
I wasn't either, because I haven't talked to him that much, here and there with on story replies and shit like that. I actually got the idea of having him on because I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw he had tweeted, and I DM'd him and he's like, yo, I haven't even been on Twitter in a while. I just was trying to get on it. I was like, dude, hop on the podcast and talk some shit. I know you got some shit you can promote and some shit that you could talk about, and I think it'll be clean. That's how you have someone that you can always go back with and it's genuine. Because doesn't matter how often you talk, doesn't matter when's the last time you talked to them, that doesn't matter. What matters is if you can pick it up right away. That's I know you and I talk all the time because we have a podcast together, but I know if let's say we didn't, and I didn't talk to you for a month, 2 months, a year at worst, I could hit you up and it would be like nothing.
Because that's how people people evolve. I hate the word change because it's I like the word evolve better, because you could see the difference of people that truly evolve in life and maturity. And that's what he talked about, how, he had a vision, and I can relate to that, where he sacrificed a lot of, going out, hanging out, partying to focus on your business, focus on what you want in life in your 20s. And the partying after that or the hanging out after that is so much more rewarding. When you're trying to play catch up in life,
bro,
in your 30s and 35s, bro, it's hard. So it means a lot to hear that. And, that's a lesson to everybody.
Are you watching the game?
Bad injury.
Aaron Rodgers smoked his shit. He got carted off the field.
Yeah, it's funny. Underdog they gave a bonus of all he needs to do is 1 yard. He didn't even get 1 yard today. So I already lost my parlay if he doesn't come in. The over-under was 0.5 total yards. Oh, shit. He smoked it for sure.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is injured. He's hobbling off.
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
Damn, bro.
Look at that. That's
he
a life lesson right there.
The field.
Yeah, that's a life lesson right there.
Fell down.
I got to go back. I'm going to
damn 8
just to see it. Damn, yeah, that's sad.
Sucks.
That was happening at the greatest part of our podcast episode. That shit was happening, and that's a travesty. That's sad. But yeah, thank you for Ron for hopping on. We'll make sure to promote his Instagram page, his business, and all that all week long. We'll put it in so people could know about it. And then we'll have him back on, follow up. I already hit up Ben Broward Vintage.
Nice. Dude, you have no idea how happy that conversation made me, and the fact that he brought it up and just trying to link it and doing something that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. But as we, later stages, let's get to some quick topics. Just to end the podcast, let's see. We won't go into that one. Last week we claimed that USA was eliminated from the World Cup. They were not eliminated. Obviously, we had it wrong, the bracket. So they lost, but then they came back and they made it to the semifinals and they lost to Germany. I watched that game live and they didn't look well and Germany dominated. They were bigger, stronger. And then they played for the bronze medal versus Canada and fucking Dylan Brooks put up 39 points on them.
Some
38,
stupid,
yeah. Mikal Bridges definitely was a rising star in that game. He had a crazy. Did you see that play?
No.
So they were down.
I didn't watch any of that.
Down 3, he's shooting. I think down 4, he's shooting a free throw. 3 seconds left. Makes the first, misses intentionally. Kind of the second, gets his own rebound in the corner, shoots a 3, makes it. Overtime, and then they lost. I didn't watch that at all, but I seen the highlight. So the positive I could take out as a Brooklyn Nets fan is we got an all-star, a future all-star, 26 years old, 27 years old, and I'm glad we were able to return or replace Durant with a guy in his prime and somebody that could be the future of the Nets for the next 4 to 6 years. So, and then with other pieces. So no medal for the USA. Let's see. I did want to mention this, and then you could go on anything you have because it's probably the last thing I have to say, is I sent you a article of where MESSI – what? Bad? What?
You haven't seen it?
I just replayed the injury.
Should I show it?
Let me watch it first live.
I'm going to show it.
Wait, did he re-aggravate it because it was on the scramble or no?
I'm going to show it.
At the very end,
what happened on this third play?
Oh, so it was back a little further than
in training.
Right here.
But here's a little better look as far as what
might
have happened for him to go back down to the ground.
Leonard Floyd takes him down.
Oh, it broke?
Like just a regular tackle.
I think so.
No, but he stood up and he was able to move around after.
Yeah, but then he just fell right down after. He sat right down.
Yeah, then I'm missing it, trying to watch it live or whatever. Because I have the 2 TVs going on, Manning cast on the left and the live, and I'm not seeing it, so I have to sit down and watch it. But damn, Aaron Rodgers potentially breaking on the podcast.
I hate that it happened to Rodgers. I really do, because I love Aaron Rodgers and I think he's top 5 greatest quarterbacks ever. But fuck the Jets.
Yeah,
fuck the Jets.
We could have just witnessed Aaron Rodgers either, if it's worst case, best case scenario, out a month or 2, Worst case scenario, out for the year, but we'll see. We can't assume these things. I've seen injuries that should have been way worse that weren't that bad. So I'm going to be hopeful. Oh, now I see it. He got up hobbling. That sucks. I think he knows it too. Yeah,
he knows it. He knows it.
No, I'm watching the replay now live, and so he gets up, nods his head at the sideline, and then sits back down. He knows it was bad. And when you're 20 years in the league, wait, I've never felt this in my leg before, right? Like like, oh shit, I've never felt this type of whatever just happened. But like I said, I've watched guys walk off the field after a devastating injury and be like, oh wait, he's good. He was able to walk off. I watched Tom Brady walk off from that injury week 1 versus Kansas City back in the day. And everyone was like, oh, he was able to walk off. He's good. I watched Mariano Rivera walk off the field after tearing his knee, shagging baseballs like 10 years ago. And everybody's like, oh, he walked off. He's fine. You don't know with these type of injuries. Just because they walk off the field doesn't mean it wasn't a bad injury. So we'll probably have an update literally within the hour after we're off. So can you pull up the link that I sent you to about Lionel Messi? And
yes.
So Lionel Messi, obviously, Inter Miami, the Miami Stadium will not be finished, completed until I think 2025, I believe. So he plays in Fort Lauderdale, which is not Fort Lauderdale downtown. It's more like Oakland Park area, more than Fort Lauderdale, which is 3.5 miles away from where I live. And he has a place in Miami now. But he's not going to travel from Miami to Fort Lauderdale because that'll be crazy, an hour every time. So he bought a $10.75 million mansion on the water. Now, my boy sent this to me, Drew. He was like, wow, look at where Messi just moved to. And I looked it up. If you look at the article, look at the picture I sent you after this.
I saw it.
We just bought this week. I didn't know this. It got me hyped because I'm like, whoa, this is all time. Makes me feel even more rich than I'm not. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I just found out taxes are due, and I'm gonna have to write off some stuff to make sure I don't have to give the government some more money. So
yeah.
Look at the picture that I sent you about the map.
I saw it. I'm not gonna share it on here, but
no, I don't have my address on it. I don't have my address on it.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, I made sure. I'm not trying to get people, groupies and shit. I made sure I did it in a way where you don't see my exact look. I mean, the exact location doesn't matter. So it was kind of cool. So I was basically, this is a visual podcast more than audio, but if you're, listening, I'll share you. So if you zoom in here, you can see according to this week, I live currently 2.0 miles away from Lionel Messi. 2 miles, 10 minutes. In the golf cart, it'll probably take me 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah. So I know exactly where that is too. So guess what I'm going to do this week?
You're going to pull up on Messi?
I'm pulling up. I might make it a weekly thing to just pull up on Messi and see if I see him. Guess what? If he goes to a Publix, we share the same Publix right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Myself and
Messi he does
share.
go to Publix because there was a bunch of tweets and pictures of him at Publix when he first got here.
At the current moment with where he resides, and he's going to reside there for at least the next 2 years, me and Messi share the same Publix, liquor store, CVS.
I don't think
Walgreens.
Messi's drinking liquor.
I'm just saying we're fuck. I could accurately say we're neighbors. We're neighbors, 2 miles away. That's pretty cool. I like that. Anyway, that's all I had on my end. What do you have on yours?
Shit. I mean, pretty much everything that we covered. I think this was a great episode. Again, appreciate Ronnie from Hypnotized hopping on and sharing his story and, kind of just talking shop and business and everything he's gone. He already texted me talking about it was all love, and I told him, yeah, we're gonna have him on again. It's not gonna be the only time. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've been reaching out to people. I got guests that we can have on for
we have
maybe
a
like
list.
a month straight, and we can have a guest on next week and for a few weeks after that. But if you have something that you're doing, if you have something that you want to promote, if you have a business, if you're a real estate agent, if you're making your own clothing like we just had Ronnie, if you're doing stuff on social media, if you're a photographer, if you're a videographer, whatever it is, bro, if you're a personal trainer, it doesn't matter, bro. It really doesn't matter. If you have something that represents you and you want to talk about it, hit us up, whether it be my DMs, whether it be Ray's DMs, whether it be the pod DMs. I don't care. We're gonna see it, and we're gonna figure out how to get you on it, and we'll go from there. We've had people on here that Ray doesn't know. We've had people on here that I don't know. We've had people on here that neither of us know and haven't met. So it's just all through fucking networking and communication, like Ronnie broke down, and that's part of the game. And I want to do something, and I know Ray wants to do something with this. So let's go, man. Let's get this shit. I'm sweating. I need to go to the gym. I've had a headache. I gotta fucking do something with my night, man.
Yeah,
but
love it.
Let's
take it to
was
the
awesome.
next level, brother.
Shout out Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah. Hopefully this smoke his knee, because we all lose. We all. I know you. Selfishly, if you take out the fact of an injury and you don't wish it upon anybody, but like in your division,
I wanted to play him in the Jets
and it just creates better, right? Like I think your team is good enough where it's like Aaron Rodgers playing would make it a great season if you were to win the division and fucking beat all the other three teams. That would make it historic in Miami Dolphins history. So we all lose at the end of the day. So hopefully it's not. Man. Hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's a couple of weeks and
hopefully it just looks a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, shout out Coco Gauff for winning the women's.
I saw that
U.S. Open. I love the girl that she played against, the Russian. Which did you see on ESPN? I didn't realize this the whole time, but they were blacking out, or they didn't have the Russian flag the whole time, which I was not okay with, only because it's like. I mean, this is probably a conversation for next week, but you're blacking out the Russian flag because they're in a war. Whether you think it's right or wrong, war is bad in general, but whether you think it's right or wrong, ESPN or whoever made that decision of blacking out the Russian flag made it their decision to do it based on their views, and I don't agree with that. Like they had the American flag for Coco, and then they had nothing there for Russia. It's not her. She's not pro-war. She's not friends with Putin or whatever the case may be. She's also losing people and her country's in a war. So it's like, be a little empathetic no matter what your view is on that towards sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
that. I didn't like that.
I don't like that either when when there's a UFC fight and they have a Russian guy coming out and they boo him. Like, I mean, I said it.
Well, no, not even booing, because that's up to the viewers and the crowd. But like
not friends with
a network making a decision not to put the Russian flag, like they sat there and said, we're not going to put the Russian flag on there for this athlete that's putting their heart and soul representing their country, right or wrong. I don't agree with. And there's nothing you could tell me to convince me otherwise. I don't agree with that thought process of we're not putting this country's flag on because we think they're doing wrong. That's not your decision to make. Your sports. Your sports, and she's representing her country. What are we doing?
Literally, no. Yeah, I don't.
That lets me know that there's.
Well, that's just it's fucking ESPN, bro. It's fucking ESPN. It's Disney. It's just stupid. Like that's why I haven't watched ESPN in a long time, but I will not continue. I will continue to not watch ESPN because of how woke they are, and a lot of people are getting tired of that shit, bro. A lot of people are getting tired of that shit. I didn't say my story at the gas station about gun. but I'll leave that for next episode.
Yeah, save it for next
Because-
week. We'll put it in the notes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hopefully John's bounce back against the Cardinals, and then Dolphins have who next week? The Patriots.
The Patriots in Foxborough, baby. We're on to the Patriots.
If we record next Monday night, which we're on schedule to, it's my birthday. 34 years old. So I'll be celebrating this weekend. I'll probably show up to this podcast either pretty drunk to fight a hangover from the previous 2 or 3 days. So we'll have some fun on my birthday, and we'll make it worth AP's coming into town. So
Okay, nice.
yeah, we'll have some fun on next week's episode 94. But appreciate you guys. Subscribe, follow.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the guests for coming on, and we'll have more guests to follow each and every week as long as every schedule works. I actually send out a couple DMs while recording to see if we can get some new people on. So we'll see. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, episode 93. Enter the lab.
93.
Exit the lab.
Year I was born on.
Peace.